Hello, listeners. It's your host, Bella, and this is Day Thoughts, a podcast where I break down and share my opinion on deep topics I find myself contemplating throughout the day. Day Thoughts is centered around open conversation and unique perspectives from both myself and guest speakers about various subjects like mental health, spirituality, and self-help. You can expect to see new episodes available for streaming every Friday. For the next 5 weeks, we will be exploring the topic of self-love in my new self-love series, Loving You. This is episode 4. Stay tuned. Hello. Welcome back, guys. This is episode 4 of my self-love series, Loving You. Today, I'm going to be talking about confidence, but really quickly, I did just want to update you guys. I actually did have COVID, so that sucks because I've survived 3 years of the pandemic and I didn't have COVID, and now I can't say that anymore. But I am recovering. My family is recovering. We're all doing well. Still feeling under the weather and still waiting to get a negative test result. So definitely fingers crossed for that. But yeah, so today I'm going to be talking about healthy confidence. What does it mean? How do you achieve it? And what are the other kinds of confidence that we don't want to have? Obviously, I am not a professional. I'm just someone who has learned a lot in life, and I'm only 18, but I believe that I have good insight on confidence, and not just myself, but my wonderful guest speaker who's joining me on today's episode. Her name is Layla. She and I have been friends for 4, 5+ years now. The way we met is actually really funny. So anyways, stay tuned for the upcoming episode. Those were my quick little announcements for you guys. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Hello, everybody. This is Layla.
Hello.
You may have noticed that there was a little bit of a lag. She is actually all the way in Michigan. I'm in New Mexico. So, we're a few states away, but I've never done a collab this far away before, but I just think it's really cool. So, you may notice, like I said, a little bit of a lag, but just bear with us.
Yes, for sure. Do you want to say how we met, or should I say
Oh,
it?
yeah. Okay. You go ahead. You just tell them.
Oh my gosh, yes, I have the floor. Okay, so we were both huge into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when we were in middle school through high school, and we both had little fan accounts on Instagram, so we were being cute little fangirls, and man, was there drama. It was like Twitter, but for Instagram Ninja Turtles, but it was just, we ended up just becoming friends and just staying friends even after our little turtle fandom. So, and now here we are.
Here we are. I know it's kind of funny because I've actually never, I don't know, maybe I do know someone, but I don't think I know anybody who's ever had like an internet friendship for this long, like a real one. You know what I mean? Like one where you've actually FaceTimed and like what's going on in each other's lives and stuff. So I just think it's really cool though.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's just nice because we've always had just some great deep conversations. So I feel like this podcast today is just going to be us geeking out, except we're getting recorded.
Yes. And I previously mentioned in the intro that we are going to be talking about confidence today. Layla is actually in college right now studying psychology, so she's perfect for this conversation. She knows all the technical terms.
Oh yes, all the nerdy little, I'm a psych major thing, so I'm excited to geek out.
But anyways, so I guess, let's just jump right in whenever you're ready. So talking about confidence, I think that there are different kinds of confidence, and there is a healthy confidence that is secure and good for you and good for your relationships. And I feel like there is other types of confidence that are not secure. They are not dependent on what they should be. They can actually negatively affect your life, your relationships. And since Layla is studying psychology, did you want to kind of just talk about false confidence and what that entails and just kind of how it can affect your life without you really realizing it?
Oh, yes, for sure. Like, false confidence is a huge deal breaker because a lot of people think they're having this healthy kind of confidence, but we need to really break down this isn't healthy. And one of the things is a huge one that goes on every day. I got it from Cara Lowenthal. She has her own podcast. Check her out. She's so good. It's basically, we should not be looking in a mirror if you don't feel confident, or maybe like you just need to meet yourself where you're at. Healthy confidence, or at least false confidence, is believing that you have to force this kind of positivity onto yourself. Like, what we're supposed to do is not look in a mirror every single day and go, I am beautiful. I am the best person in this world, and just fake it till you make it. You're supposed to have these baby steps of thoughts, because changing your thoughts is your confidence. It's not any outside circumstances. It's only your thoughts, and yourself is what healthy confidence is. So you need this baby steps of ladders to just say, like, hey, you know what? I am having a human day and I look decent even if I don't feel like it. And every single day, instead of forcing these words that you don't feel like you agree with in the mirror, just say some nice things that you can agree with at the moment, and keep climbing up that ladder where every day it gets better. Like, maybe the next day you say, you know what? I look decent today. And then the next day, maybe you can say, I like how my eyes look. They really look nice. Until you get to that, I do feel beautiful. But why are you forcing yourself to say things that you don't believe? That's not healthy confidence. You got to meet yourself where you're at.
Yes. No, that is so true. And I think that's one of those things, is confidence is not false assurance. You know, it's not saying I am something that I'm not. And sometimes, you know, you may have to run to the gas station. You know, we've talked about this previously in conversations where you may just have to run to the gas station and, you know, you don't really have a chance to put on makeup or put on the right outfit or do your hair. And you don't have to look in the mirror and say, oh my gosh, like I could walk a runway right now. You know what I mean? If you don't believe that, you can just be comfortable and say, you know what, like you've said before, I'm a human being. Like, I have to run an errand. It's okay that I'm not looking my absolute best. Like, I can still be confident in my own skin, and I don't have to take 30 minutes to get ready really fast in order to go run an errand. Like, I can just go as I am and accept that.
Yes, 100%. And even if you feel like, oh no, like I've seen all these social media influencers, and I mean, it's everywhere that they're just saying, you need to look in the mirror no matter what and just say, I'm the hottest thing alive, you know, and you don't need to do that. It's baby steps of just saying every day, just saying something nice about yourself that's gentle and self-compassionate. That's healthy confidence, and building it up. Obviously, don't stay at, I look okay, and just saying that all the time. Like, no, you need to build up your self-assurance, but do it at your own pace, because that's what healthy confidence is just being gentle with yourself.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think, you know, basically what we're saying is the voice in your head is what's going to affect your confidence the most. You know, the way that you talk to yourself, the comments you allow yourself to make towards yourself, that is what is going to, that's what you're going to internalize. And I think a lot of times, you know, confidence can be dependent on how many compliments you get or how other people view you or whatever. And that is just as unhealthy. But I think at the end of the day, we are all our own worst critics. We are our harshest critics. And if, you know, 100 people could tell you that you look good, but if the voice in your head says, no, I don't, then you're not going to believe that you do. And it's not, obviously, confidence isn't all about looks. You know what I mean? It can be about performance. It can be about social status. It can be anything that involves your image of yourself and how much you gauge your own self-worth, I would say is relevant to confidence.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And one thing that you and I agree with too is that confidence is not you going out and feeling super cute. Like that is confidence, but how you perceive other people perceiving you is not confidence. And not only that, but you getting the best in your class is not gonna determine your self-worth. You getting that new job is not your self-worth. Like outside circumstances are not what self-confidence is. Self-confidence is your thoughts and regulating your thoughts to believe in yourself and just be gentle with yourself and definitely just be the best version of yourself that you can be. That's what healthy confidence is, and just being gentle.
Yes, I agree. And I think, I've seen it to where, like a woman is extremely beautiful and she truly does not believe that she is beautiful. And so she'll say that, she'll be honest about it and just say, no, like I'm not pretty. And people will say, oh, you're fishing for compliments just based on looking at them. If we see someone and we think, oh, you're the whole package, we probably assume that they believe that about themselves. And so maybe we won't give them the compliments that they probably need to hear. You know what I mean? Like we are all human beings. We are all equals. And whether we think someone has the package or not, ultimately it comes down to what you believe about yourself, because that truthfully is what other people are going to believe about you.
Yep. Like our inside thoughts are going to reflect our life, and that's why it's so important. And not only that, oh my gosh, Bella, like we have gone out in public and I feel like we just think everybody's paying attention to us way more than we actually think. Like, I remember there was one time I even went into like Sephora, and I was like, oh my gosh, I know these ladies are shaming me for not having any makeup on or something. Like, they're just looking at me like, you want to buy this mascara? You sure? Like, you sure you want to buy it? And or even just like watching how I'm walking. And I've grown out of that, but psychologically speaking, that is called the spotlight effect, where you think you're this main character where even if you're walking a certain way, everybody's just judging you. Like they are watching you like you're an ant in some kind of field out of a lab test or something. Like not many people are paying that much attention to you. So healthy confidence is not thinking that if you go in a public space that everybody's opinions of you, of how you're walking, how you're smelling, how you like, people are not watching you like you're a main movie character. I'm sorry to break it to you.
No, it's true though. I think I actually did write a poem about that once, and it was because I would convince myself like I could be walking behind a group and they could be laughing, and if I pass them, they're laughing at me. And it's like, no, they were already laughing before I was even in front of them, but now that I'm in front of them, they must be laughing at me. They must be judging me. And convincing myself, and I believe that there is such thing as self-fulfilling prophecy. If you walk around thinking that everybody hates you, chances are you're not going to have very many friends because you're not in the mind space to put yourself out there. You know what I mean? And just know that the things about yourself that you don't like, the things about yourself that you've written off, someone that's never met you does not know those things. So going into a friendship, refusing to put yourself out there, believing that you can't make friends because nobody's going to like you just because you don't like yourself, that's not realistic. And I speak from experience. I feel like most of my high school career, I defined that for myself without even giving people the chance to decide how they felt about me. I just decided how they felt about me based on how I felt about myself.
Yes, and that's why healthy confidence is very important. And remember, just that gentle ladder we were talking about, if you feel like that, just know that it's okay to have irrational thoughts. You are loved, and you won't be that self-fulfilling prophecy. If you're working on it, you go,
Mm-hmm.
But Now, obviously, it might be hard to tell, well, okay, I'm trying to be self-confident, but what if I become this horrible, like, oh, I'm better than everybody in the world? So that would be
Right.
good to help distinguish. Like, there's definitely a difference between arrogance, like
And
Kendrick Lamar,
confidence.
sit down, be humble, you know?
Right. Yes. No, I agree. I think that a lot of times confidence is mixed up with arrogance. And the way that you can tell kind of where you're at, like, am I confident or do I think I'm better than people? Is ask yourself, how do other people feel about themselves when they're around you? Like, in a way that obviously you can control, because sometimes people aren't going to feel good about themselves simply because they see a quality in you that they wish they had or whatever. And that's their own personal thing. And you should still love on those people, obviously. But I mean, in a way that you can control, are you building people up? Are you, making them feel better about themselves, or are you talking down about people? Are you comparing yourself and putting yourself in a higher light than you are them? Is that your mindset overall, that you are the best, that you are better than people? And if that is your mindset, and if that's how you make people feel when they're around you, chances are you're not confident, you're arrogant. And that sounds so harsh, but that's honestly the only way to kind of put that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like, arrogance is, I don't want to learn anymore. I can't take criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Like, arrogance is, okay, well, you're telling me that I'm not doing this right, and then you quickly just go, do you know how many years I've been doing this? Blah, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. It's like, you need to be able to take criticism. And let me tell you, I'm not very good with criticism. So, yeah, but I do take it and I'm willing to learn. And that's the difference. If you're a healthy confidence would not look like not being able to take criticism, not building each other up. And not only that, but you can be a little assertive. That's fine. But
Yeah.
just make sure that you're not just putting people down, and you're very willing to listen to other people, because that's what confidence really is listening, learning, and still being your authentic self.
Right. Yes. And I think I talked about this a little bit in one of my other episodes, where it was, you should definitely come to a place where you love yourself before you start trying to grow and develop as a person. But I think when it comes to confidence, that's what that is. Confidence is, I see who I am, I see my good qualities, and I see the things that I need to work on. I'm okay with both. I can accept criticism without getting defensive and upset about it, and I don't internalize people's mean comments towards me. I don't, I accept love from people. If someone compliments you and you don't agree with them, that's okay. You don't have to agree. If someone says they like your hair and you feel like you're having a really bad hair day or something, you don't have to agree, but you can still accept that compliment, receive that love from that person. Because ultimately, it's not about whether or not you agree with what people are saying about you. It's how you let it internalize within yourself. And ultimately, it's filtered out by that voice in your head.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We are spreading wisdom. But yes, just being able to say thank you to a compliment, it's a huge thing, because you're just letting yourself say, you know what, I'm going to allow this. And healthy confidence is just letting yourself be gentle, be kind with other people, but mostly be kind with yourself too. A lot of self-compassion in healthy confidence.
Yes, I agree. And I think, we talk about what is healthy confidence. It's steady. It's not dependent on how many compliments you get. It's not dependent on how other people feel about you. And, it doesn't matter how you look that day, how you perform in a certain thing, whether or not you get that job. It is completely dependent on how you feel about yourself. And I think that healthy confidence ultimately impacts your life in a positive way, in a productive, beneficial way. And it affects other people that way too. And I think, if it's arrogant, or if it's, insecure in a very unhealthy way, those both, because you can project your insecurities onto other people, and that can damage a friendship. And I speak from experience. But in addition to that, obviously being arrogant, people are not going to feel good about themselves around you. And since we're all equals, there's no reason to, elevate yourself above someone else or belittle yourself in comparison to someone else. We're all equals for a reason. And healthy confidence knows that and believes that and expresses that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I feel like we're saying such good stuff. Yeah. And healthy confidence, I would just say is, because we're talking about so much of what it's not, but if we're giving you a quick little, spark notes, what would be healthy confidence? You're telling us all this stuff, but now how do we worry to be confident? Healthy confidence, if you just think about it, is just being gentle with yourself, meeting yourself where you're at every single day, being willing to listen to people, being willing to, just really be your own competition. No one is ever your competition. I know that's our culture in America. We need to be the best. Capitalism. Like, if we're not the best, we're not going to get that moolah.
No, definitely. And I think that there are ways, if you're assessing yourself right now and you're thinking, well, I don't really know where I stand, you're not alone, because I've met some people that are incredibly confident and they will admit that they still struggle and they still have insecurities. So confidence is not the absence of insecurities. It's the acknowledgement of them and the acceptance of them. And I think, once you are able to practice self-love, look in the mirror and speak honest thoughts, not lying to yourself, not giving yourself false assurance every single day, building other people up, ignoring hateful comments, and choosing to move past the world's standards for you and just being who you are and accepting that. I feel like all of those are really good ways to start moving into healthy confidence.
Yes. And I know one last thing would be super important. Healthy confidence, always just remember every single culture is so different. So and this is hard for me sometimes too, but don't let people determine your confidence, because in certain cultures, different things are considered hot or pretty or handsome. So just be your own competition and your own judge, and be gentle, because we're our worst self-critics, but just practicing that gentleness every day is the healthy self-confidence.
Wow. Yes, good thoughts. I think, confidence is not really pushed onto us as a society. Social media kind of causes us to feel insecure. And, it's very difficult to love yourself in our society. I'm not going to pretend like it's easy. It is a daily effort. But at the end of the day, it can be done, and surround yourself with people that build you up, not people that compete with you or tear you down or make you feel bad about yourself. Those aren't the kinds of people that you can grow with. And the people that have similar goals, they also want to work on confidence. They also want to spread love and be loving and love themselves. Those are the kinds of people that are going to be beneficial to you. And so it's just really important to keep around the right company. And I will always say that, because it just makes the biggest difference.
Yes. And now I am ready after this podcast to go out and just look at strangers and be like, you have that healthy confidence.
Oh my goodness, like a little self-challenge.
Right.
But I think that about wraps everything up today, Layla. Was there anything that you wanted, like a little parting message or anything?
Just always remember to be gentle, and thank you for having me on. I had a ton of fun.
Oh, good. I had fun too. I mean, obviously there were some complications. We had some technical difficulties as always, but it's okay. It's a learning curve. But thank you for joining me. You are so wise and you provide so much insight. But this was so much fun. And next week, I'm going to be talking about setting boundaries in relationships with my sister, who's also studying psychology. So definitely stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for tuning into today's episode, and I will see you next week. Bye.